Elden Ring is among my favorite games of all time, and I love every moment I spent in this strange and scary world. Except when I have to face these things. Something that I don't necessarily love is killing innocent animals, and games that implement this mechanic. And Elden Ring is not the only one. Many modern games do it. From Horizon Zero Dawn and its sequel, to Breath of the Wild and its sequel, we are told that animals are needed for essential upgrades or just killed for food. In Horizon, you are more or less forced to kill animals in order to upgrade your carrying capacity and weapons pouches. Bunnies, boars, turkeys, raccoons, all are fair game as you harvest their bones and meat. Oh, by the way, Guerrilla, please tell me why I need fatty meat to upgrade my bow quiver. How does that work? Do I lace my pouch with chunks of meat? How do they stay fresh for so long? In Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the world is also teeming with wildlife. We have cute orange foxes, cranes, ducks, you name it. You kill them for food that Link can sell or eat himself to replenish his hearts. I hate it. Luckily, you can go through the whole game without killing anything and consume other edibles like, fruits and veggies. Elden Ring's world is just as full with animal life that, yet again, is there for you to harvest for bones, feathers, or feet. I found it particularly cruel that one of the materials needed to create the much coveted gold pickled fowl foot, try saying that 10 times faster, a consumable that for a limited time increases the amount of runes earned, requires me to kill birds for their feet. As much as I would want this item, there is no way I will harm these adorable looking birds. These are called guillemots, by the way, and they are not penguins. We also have eagles, we have boars, we have deer, we have bears, and we have whatever this is. It appears that this one got stuck in the scenery. Let's try to help. We also have rams, and some are very male and very horny. This one decided that he wants to be Elden Lord himself and went after my hide. So quite a lot of animals in Elden Ring, and thankfully, despite their presence all over the world, it is easy to avoid killing them. In fact, I found, to my relief, that none of these animals offer anything that I cannot obtain through other means. Materials like thin or hefty beast bones are not necessary to harvest, as I can purchase the already made items, arrows in this case, from merchants in exchange for runes, and if you really fancy the bones, you can purchase them once the proper bell bearing is acquired. As a result, I never found myself needing to kill. That is, until I came upon this. Mounted enemies. When I first ran into them, I didn't know that both rider and horse have separate life bars. I just took them as a complete package and hit both like a madman, despite my aversion for killing animals. Dim as I am, it took me a while to realize that I could actually target and kill the mounted rider while sparing the horse. How you can do this is the topic of this video. The process is quite simple. The way to defeat the mounted enemies and spare the horse is done with bows, so make sure you have one already. Some starting classes, like the samurai and the bandit, already come with a bow equipped from the start. The earliest mounted rider that you can encounter can be found in Limgrave, not far from where your Tarnished stumbles out for the first time into the big wide world. This enemy is a Caden sellsword, and he is quite aggressive. In this area, you can find a few of them mounted. Be careful. If you are early in the game, these guys hit hard. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you are targeting the rider and not the horse. You can move the targeting dot between the two by moving the R3 stick if you're playing on PlayStation, or the equivalent on other platforms. Then you'll want to arm your bow at the rider, but not when they are both directly in front of you. Rather, fire when they are slightly to your side and moving towards you. I was able to take the Skaden jerk in 2 hits because I was well into the game at this point with a decently upgraded bow. By the way, the damage you inflict is based on factors like the total health of the enemy, attributes like your strength and dexterity, and the upgraded power of your bow. So if you're just starting out, you may not do as much damage. The horses will also react to you differently if you hit them or not. Because I did not harm the horse and he still has a full health bar, he will not run from me. If injured, they will run away if you approach, but they will never attack. Here comes another Caden rider. Make sure your targeting dot is on him. If you look closely, you will see that by moving my R3 stick, the targeting went from the rider to the horse briefly. As I just mentioned, if the target is locked, you can move to the next closest target, and this is what happened here. Try to be aware of this in the heat of battle so that you don't accidentally target and then hit the horse. Those of you who use the bow frequently know this. If the enemy is moving and the movement is on the left and right axis vis-a-vis the Tarnished, your arrows will not hit because the arrow will target the position of the enemy at the moment it takes flight from your bow. By the time the arrow reaches its destination, the target would have moved. So don't waste your arrows unless the enemy is moving towards you. I do not seem to take my own advice, so you will see me miss a lot and get hit a lot while shooting at moving enemies. Here I managed to take a few hits because I mistimed my shots. The horsey is again untouched, so he won't run away from me. Since I injured the horsey, he's afraid of me and will run if I approach. This one is very brave. You can also see how he moves his hooves as if wanting to fight, since he sees me as an enemy. The horse will never attack you though. When shooting arrows, make sure that the targeting dot remains on the rider. While locked on and in the heat of battle, pushing the R3 stick on the PS controller, or the equivalent if you are on a different platform, will switch the lock to the next closest target, which is, in this case, the horse. And since I hit the horse once, I am an enemy, so he will run away. But here's what I like the most about sparing the animals. I was surprised how realistically the horses react. Even after I hit the horse, if I stay at a certain distance, the horse will still be curious and walk towards the tarnished, and will run away only if I get too close. Another spot with mounted riders accessible fairly early in the game is the Bellum Church Site of Grace in Liurnia. This area has two locations with mounted Cuckoo Knights. These are more dangerous because they can throw magic projectiles in tandem with their melee attacks. Close to the Bellum Church, you can find a few mounted Cuckoo Knights mixed in with a few foot soldiers. I don't recommend doing what I did here. I decided to leave this footage in as a warning. As I mentioned previously, I advise against shooting an arrow when the enemy is straight in front of you. I did just that here, and I hit the horse even though I was locked on the knight. Worst of all, I used my special bow skill, Mighty Shot, and I dealt extra damage. And as the icing on this poopy cake, I shot the horsey in the head again, killing him. Very bad. This is why I recommend patience and waiting for the best angle to take those shots from the side. Another area is located near the Grand Lift of Dectus. In this camp, you'll find all kinds of jerks. Foot soldiers, some manning catapults, one of those fire-breathing things, and mounted Cuckoo Knights. So, what is the best angle to aim your shots? We concluded that firing when the enemy is right in front is not a good idea since you can hit the horse. This is a good angle. Aim from the side so you hit the rider and reduce the risk of hitting the horse. So again here, Horsey was not injured and won't run away but will act annoyed if pestered. Behold my amazing fighting skills. Horsey still comes to check me out. I find this very cute. Too bad we can't ride them, but Torrent would disapprove.
Hey!
I'll leave you with this. By the way, look at Torrent's size next to a regular horse. This further proves my hypothesis that Torrent is a rideable goat with horns. At best, a goat horse. Yes. So this is it, folks. If you're wondering about the purpose of this video, I will say this. Besides the obvious fact that I love animals, the older I get, the more I'm becoming aware of the fragility of life and the respect it requires. And I try to behave in fictional game universes in the same way that I behave in the real world. Thank you for investing your time to watch this, and see you next time.